Welcome to Mamaw Knows. Today we're going to start our masterclass videos on fractions. And the first thing we want to talk about is to look at why fractions are important to know. There are a few things that we need to look at, but we're going to try to make it easy. We're going to try to stay to the point. We may even include some tips and tricks as we go through the process. I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you come back to see us again. Okay, on our first video today, we are going to look at why fractions are important. A lot of people study fractions, and everybody studies fractions in school, and one of the biggest question marks is people want to know, why do I even have to learn this? But fractions come into our daily lives in a lot of different ways that sometimes you may not realize. One example would be cooking. All of us find ourselves at some point in time having to cook, and some of us enjoy it and some of us don't. In both groups, we often look at recipes or follow directions. Fast food is a big thing. Freeze your food is a big thing. Pop it into the microwave. That's something that we all learn how to do very early, but there's still instructions to follow. And sometimes those instructions include fractions. Like if you have to mix things, you may need 1/3 of a cup of this, or 2/3 of a stick of butter, or half a pint of milk. Fractions, every one of them fractions. And if you don't have it just marked on your container, you've got to figure out what that means. Another way you may see fractions is dealing with time. Something very simple, like what does it mean when somebody says it's 4:15? Or what is 3:30? If you don't know what fractions are, it's really hard to make that concept easier to understand, especially in today's world where everything's digital. 1/2, well, that means 4:30. 1/4, that means 15 till. But why does it mean 15 till? Because 15 is 1/4 of an hour. That's where the fractions come in. Even in things like construction, if you're having to take measurements, maybe you need to determine how much, how much gravel you need to work on your driveway. And he says, you say, okay, well, how much is half a truck? Half a truckload. Well, what's half a truckload? They don't order it, you don't pay for it by half a truckload. You pay for it by so many tons. So if you don't know how many tons that truck carries, say it carries 6 tons, and they tell you you're gonna need half a truckload. Well, that's 3 tons. If it's $1,000 a ton, you've just said you were gonna spend $3,000. You might wanna know that. So there are a lot of different things that fractions can come into play. Other things like sports, okay, whenever they're keeping up with your stats in all kinds of sports. And almost invariably, they're figured in fractions. And then those fractions are sometimes have to be converted into decimals. But it starts out as a fraction. So you always need to have some kind of concept of what fractions are. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this series of videos. I hope that you enjoy this. I hope that you will come back to see us. Be sure and watch for the next video. We're going to talk about simple fractions where you have the same bottom number, otherwise known as a denominator. We'll talk about adding and subtracting. So come back and see us for that. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. Be sure and come back for our next video. Thank you.